Hey y'all, Kalari here with another video I didn't want to have to make, but apparently this is going to be the month of craziness for your old girl. I want to start off by apologizing to somebody who reached out to me this morning in DMs. I might have came across as callous and flippant because I really didn't understand what was going on or why you approached me the way you did. And honestly speaking, now that I have some newer information, I hope that you didn't think I was coming across that way. I thought you were telling me this because I had very vocally decided to walk away from Girl World. I was very in my feels about the fact that I do not want you to not be a mod for me because I decided to not do Girl World stuff, because that's where my head was. I wasn't really thinking about the other stuff. And then after tonight, getting home, seeing some stuff today, I now finally understand why you approached me. And I'm going to say to you again that I do stand by. I don't have a problem with you directly at all. And now that I know what I know, I am sorry to you. I really, really am. Because honestly, I had no idea.
Well, hey, Kalari.
Hey, Hannibal.
Yo,
I got the
Kalari.
text. Hey, Inferno.
Mhm.
I got the text from Beans. You know, Beans is my best friend. She mods for you. I honestly was going to avoid YouTube because you know why. This ain't about me, though. I tried to replay back what I could, and I listened to what I could. And I think I've been forthright with my background with surviving DV, actual, really physical stuff. And like I said, first of all, the docs and shit. That's why I'm making a big announcement tomorrow myself. I don't understand why people do stuff like this, and I'm not here to try to rationalize any of this. I just know that I still plan on watching you. I won't be in the chat much anymore because I'm tired of a lot of this. We aren't trial jurors. You didn't even have to come forward and explain any of this. You could have left it to these motherfuckers who have been targeted my channel, have doxed me to hell and back. They're dragging personal information out there. I am just a commentary creator who wants to talk about topics. I don't put my life out there like that. And for some reason, it's an acceptable standard for people to do this to people and just allow it. And it's like I said, people are going to judge you no matter what. People are either going to stick with you because they enjoy what you do, or they're going to stay away. But what I don't understand is why people think that you owe them a pound of flesh for something that would have never came to light if this other creator didn't have such a hatred for your channel's success that he had to do whatever he could. He teamed up with another person who was offended by you from a panel and decided that this would be their red button to push on you. Last week, when Hannibal did his panel, I jumped on for a few minutes because I got text from my best friend who happens to mod for him. I don't think she's going to after this. Because she had already told him that she wanted to distance herself for whatever reasons. But she texted me that something was going on with Hannibal and being doxxed and all this information being brought out about him that may or may not be true. So, me being in my feels about what had happened to me recently, I thought this was that. So I jumped on, full support. Nobody forced me. This was me jumping on to somebody I enjoyed as a content creator, thinking that it was just an outright attack of his character. I was wrong. The thing is, for me, I keep that boundary between the people I enjoy and the people that I used to cover. But one of the things that I didn't understand when I jumped on the panel last week was the fact that there was more to the story. I just figured that two people that didn't like his channel doxed and exposed a story that wasn't anybody's business. And for me, because I was in protect my peace mode after what happened to myself, I thought that he was going through the same thing I went through. I wanted to believe that the story that he had told everybody was what was the truth. Because I had seen so many people run with a narrative about me that I know ain't true. So I pretty much superimposed my own feels onto a situation that I should have paid more attention to, and that was my fault. I get it. People are human. They're fucked up. We do fucked up things. I don't understand why people need to have this moral high ground on every freaking body just because. As I'm guaranteeing you, if you dig up information on anybody, you'll find something that people will catch the vapors about and be pissed off at you about. And it is just insane to me that this is going on. I didn't think about it. I didn't want to think about it. I didn't care. If I could be 100% honest, I did not care on that level because I felt like this was just another hit piece. But of course, that DM I got this morning from somebody I really do like and enjoy, that my twisted brain thought, well, maybe it's because I don't want to do Girl World no more and they just want to separate themselves so that they don't get ostracized. This was how I was thinking this morning when I seen that. And I profusely want to apologize to you, girl, for even thinking you thought that way. Because that was where my mind was. I really put in the back of my mind the Hannibal stuff because I didn't want to think about it. And honestly, as somebody who has survived that myself, who went through years of hell with somebody who he'll never own up to what he did, it's always going to be my versus his. It is a painful time that I am glad to be away from, that makes me cherish what I have now. But it's no excuse for me to excuse somebody who's been credibly accused and whose story just doesn't add up. And when you go back and you listen after I heard some other stuff today, BJ Beats. I was feeling emotional last week as it was, and I just really thought he was being railroaded. And now that I know that that's more than likely not the case, I feel fucking stupid. I feel dumb for just blindly believing in somebody I just use for entertainment. But I'm honest enough to say I made this mistake. When you think about it, this happened June of this year. You talk about full transparency. You talked about getting into legal trouble before. You've talked about your substance issues. You could have came out in June without giving all the information and said, hey, to those of you who trust me, to those of you who want to be housemates or house members, I went through some things with my partner. I don't want to lay bare everything that happened. We are working through it. But I just want to get ahead of things because I am a public figure, whether we like to believe it or not. The moment we sit in front of a camera and grow an actual community, we become public figures. You could have nipped this in the bud if you wanted to be fully transparent back after it happened. They have to be extremely direct, but you had since at least July to get ahead of this and say, hey, I went through some things. It's more personal. You gave more information than I would have even cared for, but that's my personal thing. I am not telling anybody else how to feel on this. I don't care if people cast judgment on me for continuing to support you because this is beyond ridiculous. I would not have digged for information like this. I know you as Hannibal. I don't want to know your government name. I don't want to know your business. I come here to be entertained. And there are too many people who have lost sight of that shit. And it just, as somebody who respects what I get from what I watch from you, I just felt like if I stayed out of it and just stayed quiet, it would look like I am supporting this mob that wants to try to take you down. And I'm sorry, I'd rather stand on my principle than to act like, oh, everybody else doesn't like Hannibal now because of this. I got to be like that too. I'm not like that, and whatever. That's all I wanted to say about that, Hannibal. And even though I feel like people go, well, he defended you 10, I thank him for that, because I honestly still feel like the shit that people are trying to accuse me of is definitely not real, definitely lies, and based on opinion about shit that had nothing to do with them. We're not the same people. I didn't go to him begging him to defend me. I just asked him in the Discord, if you want to distance yourself, let me know here so that I can leave quietly. Because I was tired of being blindsided by people who didn't want to let me know directly that my funders were enough for them to not want to fuck with me. So I'm, like I said, I'll be honest. I just reached out to him on Discord a few days even before any of this dropped, asking him, hey, if you don't want me in your chat, because I'm already planning to be silent anyway because I don't feel comfortable, let me know to my face. And he said we were fine. That was the last correspondence he and I had, and I was okay with that. And then when he did that panel, I'm just going to call it panel, I don't care. I jumped on. I was emotional. I thought, he's just being railroaded. I could not see it past what I went through. And that was my fault. And as somebody who has really, truly dealt with the horrors of having somebody you love do that to you for years before I had my escape, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to anybody who thought I was being flippant to their feelings. I did not mean it to come across that way. I honestly did not believe and did not want to believe at the time that he was capable of that. I thought the emotion that he was showing when telling that story, even though it really doesn't add up. Please do not let this, because I already feel like I can hear it in your voice. You're feeling a certain way, and I just don't want to lose that laughter that you have when you're covering things like A-Rail and Miss 10 and all that stuff. And I just hate that you're going through this. I didn't feel it was my place to judge, and I thought I could keep that boundary between myself and somebody I enjoyed for entertainment. My personal experience, the person that did that to me will never admit that he did anything wrong, ever. Even if he wanted to try to spin the story, he would never even go as far to say he put a hand on me at all, because he doesn't want to admit that he's that kind of a person. And maybe that's just how my brain works. If you were really that awful, you wouldn't be on here even trying to defend yourself. You'd be like, prove it, motherfuckers, or whatever, or trying to spin a narrative like, oh, she's just lying on me. You said you did what you did. You're standing by what happened that night as far as we know. But if this wasn't docs, nobody out here would be hitting you with this. So for me, I'm just like, I would rather not judge you based on something that was forced. Your hand was forced to even explain any of this. And it doesn't seem like you're going to be out there bragging like some men do when they're famous. Well, yeah, I got away with hitting you know what? Like I said, the shit is just messy. I'm honestly just way too emotional to even weigh in all the sides. I just know how I feel on this. And I just, like I said, I don't show support openly, comfortably right now. But when I heard what was being said and what was being done, I said, you know what? I don't care. I like Hannibal's content. I like you. I don't know you that well, and I have to keep prefacing that to people. I'm not acting like we're BFFs, but the few times I've talked to you off this site has been very nice. And I just don't think it's right that people are trying to use this to cause more factions, more divides, more people. Just, it's enough hate. And I'm just sick and tired of seeing people just, this is the standard for this commentary thing. And I don't understand it. Honestly, I promised my partner that I wouldn't get so fully invested in the YouTube shit anymore, and that I would do things my way. But I just see so many people just ready to condemn and not even consider the fact that you're a content creator. You're not putting your life out there, and yet these people want to completely destroy you for fun. That's the way I see it. This is fun for some people, and I
It
don't
is.
really enjoy it at all. All I know is that you got to stand by your truth. And if people don't want to rock with you, they don't. And if they do, they do. I honestly, that's all I can bring to this conversation right now. I will probably go back to just lurking and replaying when I can. But honestly speaking, I just wanted you to know that I'm not going anywhere. I might not be as vocal as I used to be, but I don't plan on going anywhere. Inferno, you have a good night. Mash, you definitely have a good night. And Hannibal, you
Peace,
have a
Kalari.
good night too. And I will talk to y'all soon, okay? And this is my mistake, and I have to own up to it. I feel like when it comes to stuff like this, it ain't easy. I don't put people on unnecessary pedestals. I know humans fuck up, but I set boundaries for a reason when it comes to certain things.
You know when you get to the point where you try something for the first time and you're like, you know what, it's just not for me. For me that was origami. I tried it one time and I was like, origami is just not for me. The first time you fold the wrong way and you get that extra little crease in there that drives my brain crazy, because I see that extra little crease and I'm like, how do I get that crease out of there? And then that's all my brain can see is that little tiny extra crease, and I'm like, oh, that drives me crazy and I can't fix that. So I have to get a new piece of paper and I have to start again. And I'm like, I need to do something else. So origami becomes something that I just cannot do. So you know what, origami is not for me. You know what? You're origami to me, and once something becomes origami to me, I'm in my Scorpio zone right now, and you're done. Like once this conversation is over, you're origami, I'm done. You're in my past, and my past is my past for a reason. So I have to get a new piece of paper and I have to start again. And I'm like, I need to do something else. So origami becomes something that I just cannot do. So you know what, origami is not for me. Don't tell me who I am allowed to be friends with. I am friends with who I am friends with. Fuck off, do your own thing and walk away from me. I love who I love, you need to grow up, find another hobby. We are done, this is done, find another hobby. You are origami.